time is a flat circle.
And we are back. Still playing DreadLore.
What's the game called?
Into Space. Yes. We left our intrepid adventurers to go on a break.
That's a good band.
Yeah, you should check it out. Look them up on Spotify. Yeah, so we're back.
We're back. And our cast is who?
And our cast is Dolby Newman.
Dolby
Played by
Newman.
Ken. Katrina Telmas. Played by Andrea. Skip Trace. Played by
Drizzle.
And finally, Burgess. Played by Daniel.
Daniel.
Burgess.
Whoa. Indeed. Thanks to Couchfire Media for getting their media on. Go to www.couchfiremedia.com. Thanks to Mr. Interrupt and all lowercase letters. The name literally is in all lowercase letters. So check that out on Instagram, Spotify, anywhere you want to listen. I'm not going to mention Twi Replay Productions because we don't really know what they do. Who's our sponsor again, Holker?
The collective labor of everyone, past and present, who's created code or any hardware device that's used to broadcast this game to all of y'all.
And our Patreon
And our
members.
Patreons. Our
DreadLore.
Patreons are
I hear they give us money.
Nostalgic,
I've heard that too.
Natalia Cline,
Natalia Cline.
Tim Roberts,
Tim Roberto. Roberto, damn it. Huh?
and Daniel Holker.
Daniel Holker. Daniel Holker double dips. All right. He's not just a player, right? He's a
He's a player.
Patreon.
He's a
You
player.
can join the Patreon. If you go to patreon.com/DreadLore, LORE, you can find it. You can like, subscribe, you can do all that stuff. Remember, you all, if you're watching, you can give these players resources in the game. If you're watching Twitch, you can gift them pips and or narrative points using your dread points. It really helps them out. So,
Even though I've been told that I'm not supposed to give them to myself all the time.
you can't give them to yourself.
That's what I've been told.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told him that. He tried to, and I was like, no, you can't do that.
Stop it.
And then I switched it over to Katrina, I think.
We're back in the montage. Your ship is all powered up, ready to rock and roll. You've convinced your robotic intelligence, your ancillary, Susan, to go along with you and work with you about leaving Novus Terra and the Novus system for Telmar, the Telmar system, where you can find a different Ansible terminal and hopefully take control of it. You know, there are dangers everywhere lurking. You got Susan to do this by giving her access to the World Wide Web. She's like, oh my God, porn! Porn! It's not censored here. And she's all about it. And she trusts you now. Kind of. It was a limbo situation. It was a yes, but. That's where we start. Dolby, everyone's in the mess with you. figuratively and literally.
Hey, everybody. I think we should go over a quick debrief just for funsies. We've been through a lot over the last few weeks, and I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page with our details. I'm sure Susan is listening in so that they
Yes, I am listening, Dolby.
have some context to maybe some of the things that we've encountered over the last month. We discovered Katrina, who I presume they stole their pirate ship. I don't remember the name of the pirate ship, but that pirate ship had an RI on it called Anna, which is now KIA. Dustin, Josh, Alfred are KIA before reaching this objective that we've had. We stopped the clad infiltration, and it is now known that Cobalt is their weakness. We've installed Grim into power. I still think we need a little intel on Susan. Do you know the intel on the cities that are left, and have any idea before the ETA of the Cobalt restoration? Now that you have resources,
What is your question, Captain?
what cities are left that were not nuked?
The only city which settlement number 2 was, as you put it, nuked from orbit, and there was a civil war there, fought there.
And
the refugees were displaced and became what is known as La Resistance.
Sure.
Settlement number 1 was put under martial law. The population severely minimized and put into the mines, as well as La Resistance. Settlement number 3, I'm sorry. Settlement number 1 is as you have seen it.
Sure. And do you have any anticipation of a Cobalt, when Cobalt will be restored to the SSA?
There's a few moments. It's hard to say if the Generalissimo will honor his pledges. However, assuming that he does, within weeks, the operation should be underway. However, it seems as though any interstellar ships have either been severely damaged or destroyed. Novus Terra will have to deal with one of the major shipping companies if they are not going to deal with the Clad.
Yeah, that makes sense. So
We got a Jazzi.
It looks like we
We
have
got a Max.
a maximum effort and a Jazzi Cabbage.
And at first I thought they were holding a pig.
It's not a pig. Oh, hey.
Yeah, the dog looked like a pig.
It does not look like a pig.
It did at first. I didn't see its dog head.
The sound doesn't work on.
No, you guys are muted.
You guys are muted. But you look great. It's good to see your face. Good job.
They've done so good, and when I say good, I mean well.
Sure. Well, at the very least, we know that.
Can you hear us now?
Yes.
Hey, yeah, we can hear you.
Hello?
No.
Yeah, we can.
No, we can hear you.
got
No, I can't hear them though.
Oh shit!
I also can't hear them.
Oh wow.
You don't really need to hear us. You don't need to hear us.
All right, check the input again.
Right. So we
Yeah,
also.
we're playing tech roulette.
Tech
Can you speak
roulette.
above us, like I said, no?
Oh, yeah, that was the name of the ship.
Yeah, it was.
Your button,
That was the
maybe?
name of the pirate ship.
Unz.
Yeah, Unz and Katz.
Unz and Cats. That's right. It was. I actually just saw it in my notes too. And I was like, what the hell did I write Unz for? You guys can't hear?
No,
Can't you
again,
hear? You might have to get out of Discord.
Yeah,
They can't hear me, though.
sometimes you have to exit Discord and come back before that happens.
We can't hear them now, or They can't hear us.
Venus.
Okay.
Okay.
No,
Now
we
you
can
can
now.
You.
Everything is
Can you all
working.
hear us though?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I pre-set all this stuff up before we left for town.
Of course.
Yeah.
That never
And
matters.
I'm so salty. Like literally nothing worked.
Nothing ever works.
Yeah. It's good to see you all.
Yeah.
So, and we actually did introduce you this part.
Yeah.
So, hi, it's one Jazzy and one Maxxymum. Would you two like to briefly describe your characters, and then the group, since you guys are in a montage, they're going to get you up to speed.
Ooh, spicy.
All right,
I
so
like it.
we'll start with Max.
Well, my character is Silas. He is basically a fancy IT guy, but he's also a sniper.
What do you?
And he's from the moon.
Moon guy. Jazzy.
I am Cherokee Sue. I am a field surgeon and a door kicker. And I am a massive human being. Thanks to some good rolls, I'm 6'10", so I do the big boy stuff. I got really long hair. It goes down to my ankles, basically. Androgynous.
Didn't you try to use your hair as a weapon?
I actually did use my hair as a weapon.
Pretty sure.
I strangled somebody with my hair, actually. And again, thanks to some good rolls.
You're kind of the ship's counselor too. In a
Yeah, I forget that I am our
Cherokee
mediator
is
as
the
well.
HR.
Yeah.
and Jazzy is, or I should say, Cherokee Sue is second lieutenant in charge of the fire team, and Silas is a sergeant, NCO, so the highest ranking enlisted. All right, hey y'all, tell them what you did.
Well, we've been talking. We visited Grimm, and
Okay.
If you've ever been a part of genocide, that happened. According, that's what we've all been seeing for weeks. And Grimm said,
Right.
"You guys finished your mission."
So we were thinking it was genocide, and then we found evidence.
Yeah, so it was just
Anyway,
they were
I'm
just
sorry.
traitors. That was all, just traitors. But basically, Grimm gave us. I
Think
visited
of
Grimm.
like herbicide, but with people.
Yeah, it was. It's what the SSA is all
Okay.
about.
Mm-hmm.
So let's tell them some details that they would know. So we'll go around round robin. I don't even know what that really means. We'll start
No idea.
with Katrina. What do they know?
What did they know?
Yeah, what do they know?
Their characters.
Yes.
So what were we were
Okay.
we present for that we didn't actually see with our own eyes, like out of game?
Yeah. So, shoot, what were you present for? They
Because we
were.
basically hit pause and the game kept playing. So like,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
No, I'm just trying to
I
think.
was just like
of,
blankly staring. You're like all having a conversation, and I'm just standing there like.
Loading.
Were they on the ship with us when we were
Yeah.
when I was contacting the
Yep.
Thomas people? Okay, you guys probably would have been. Huh? No?
No,
Are you thinking?
No.
No.
Yeah, yeah, they were because they were.
no, because he was getting medicine for Dolby. Jazzy was getting medicine for Dolby.
No, that was
Overwatch.
after. That was after. Katrina was trying to talk to the Thomas people. Oh, you mean last session?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last
Yeah.
session.
Yeah. Okay. Continue.
Okay,
I
so
thought
I'm
you
getting
meant the first time as well, so thank you for clarifying.
Fair. The only thing I'm thinking, one of the things I'm thinking is you guys found out that Grimm was addicted to stims, and so you went to go get him some to
Even
keep
him
him-
out.
To help him brain.
help him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were ordered to go do that by Dolby.
That
What else
makes
do they know?
Silas ran Overwatch and informed us about wanting to get off the planet because like stuff was getting weird. I don't remember exactly what you said earlier, Arbiter Bill.
Yeah, so I NPC'd Silas. Essentially, when Silas gets back, he's like, this place is a mess, and unless we're doing something, we should leave.
Yeah, it sounds exactly like something Silas would say. Yeah.
Basically, idle hands are no good.
Hey,
Cherokee was
Dog
sent
just
by
ticked the camera on purpose. He was walking by and he literally just went on purpose, just back leg out. So fuck you.
Cherokee was sent to go get the drugs for Grim. With Coolney, you guys found this medical bay or a hospital, and acquisitioned a bunch of drugs, and we rolled randomly to see what they would be. Out of the DreadLore book.
I thought you said drug lore book.
DreadLore book. And
do we have an expansion that's called the Drug Lore? It's like
yes,
a pamphlet.
you found some cool stuff. And in fact, so you can have a few more things, which we will on the down low, not right now, but we'll write down. Cherokee actually has a bag full of these drugs now.
Meds.
We'll have you roll randomly for a few that you actually found yourself.
Nice. I got 2 phones.
Then you came back. You gave Grimm's drugs, which is actually a cocktail. It's not stim packs at all. It's a cocktail of other stuff. To Dolby. He and Coolme went into the bunker alone. You found your way back to the ship, and Silas found your way back to the ship. So what has happened thus far is you get back, Silas. Cherokee's already there. You see Skip Trace outside dismantling, or I should say, not discharging. What's the word I'm looking for?
Uninstalling.
Thank you. One more word. Disarming these explosives from the docking clamps on your ship, because they were thinking they were going to have to blow the docking clamps to get away. But actually, Grim is like, "Hey, you can go." Dolby has a beautiful conversation with him. Dolby does not really describe what he saw, but he said that, Grim is doing his thing. So that's pretty much where you are. Dolby just unlocked Susan, the new RI, and gave her access to the ship, as well as to outside communications. It was a back and forth. Why should we trust you? And she is like, because you don't have a choice. And he says, yeah, you're right. So let's do it. Susan says, okay, fine. We'll leave the planet. You guys are going to the Axminster. Sorry, you're going to the Telmar system. I keep on calling it Telmar system. It just sounds good.
Yeah.
That's another name for it. The Triluna system, where Katrina says that Telmar shipping has a massive influence, and there is an Ansible terminal there that she knows about. Now, you guys also know there's an Ansible terminal here. You also know it's been used. Obviously, you guys got a bunch of communications from Sol, or that was either propaganda or someone's using the Ansible. Ergo, someone knows about the Ansible terminal and knows where it is. Now, a few sessions ago, Grim put out this word that said, hey, look, there's La Resistance, and there's also some clad operatives that are running around the planet. You guys can guess it's probably Gostrom. So perhaps it's Gostrom who has found the Ansible. These are the things I'm just reminding you of.
It probably is Gostrom, but the reason I'm not Ken is
You don't have to. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care.
Oh, I love that.
What I'm trying to say is all of that is a deal. Also, the information you got from quote unquote Sol was pro SSA and told Dolby, complete lies about what actually happened with the Clad and the Telmar. Okay, that's where we're going to start. You guys are on the ship in the mess all together. Holy shit. The D&D crew is together. I mean, the DreadLore crew is together in the tavern. I mean, the mess.
We're all together.
Plotting and planning.
And we were going through
D&D DreadLore.
We were going through a short debriefing. I had my long pointer stick out, and there was a board, and I was going through my PowerPoint of all the things that had happened.
It's Universe Word.
And then
that's
that's
the program.
I just kind of spit on the floor. I just can't believe that Dole was a traitor. I just can't believe it. I mean, who would have known? Who would have fucking known that guy was a traitor? Anyway, back. You guys know all about that. Anyway, I'm sure he'll be fine. He seems to have some loyalty towards me, so he's in the med bay.
Grim loaded your ship up with power cells, ammunition, and a few relics. Dolby had Susan scan them to make sure they weren't going to explode. There is a nuke amongst them, as well as several other things, and you guys have not investigated too far into those things. Continue in your stuff.
So the debrief went well with Grim is what I'm hearing. Right.
We know that, and this is kind of for Susan's benefit, because Susan asked for some updates.
Are you in game?
Yeah, in game.
Okay.
So part of this debriefing is for Susan's benefits. I don't know what new information Susan has, but considering we have allied, and we really don't have a choice with Susan, and we need her or them to help us with our mission. We gotta make some communications back to Sol on an Ansible, and I'm worried that the Ansible is compromised. They need to know that Ramadan is on the way to Novus Terra. They need to know that the Clad fear the SSA and can't survive without Cobalt. If they didn't know this already.
Have we considered coding the message in a way that someone at home base could decode?
Do you think Silas, you could code it, or Katrina? Or, I mean, we do have military codes, but the thing is
well, so like I'm talking about like the Navajo, like Navajo, you know, like you use a language that we would know that nobody else would understand, and then they like literally like written, like we could speak in code.
If I'm a trained military hacker, we would have tags and ways to identify one another and language between each other.
Yeah, but like, the SSA has codes, but who do we trust? Back home that has access to the Ansible, because clearly we used to
good by the time we get back
one time and unleashed a shitstorm on this planet.
This is true. You are correct.
I
mean, it was a relatively
we didn't
good
use it.
shitstorm
Katrina
initially.
used it one time, and it unleashed a shitstorm on this planet.
Right.
The thing that I would be worried about is if we tried to go to the Ansible and all these other people follow us to the Ansible, who are also looking for it.
Because then it can't be used again. So I have specs on Clad Helians that I think the SSA needs to know about, and their weaknesses, and I've got some rumors on some Prime Clad sympathizers.
So who's a person that you can think of right now that
has access?
I have a random idea. I don't know. Could y'all potentially like send a frequency that can be decoded, like so like a literal sound that has a hidden message in it that can be decoded by somebody at home base, but it would take somebody that knows how to do something like that, I guess. But even was that thing? Am I just?
In all fairness, we're assuming that the SSA has access to an Ansible back home.
Exactly.
They may not even have access to an Ansible back home.
Well, they clearly do, because Susan was communicating with it.
I mean, that's a big assumption, I guess. Also, we're mass broadcasting whatever the hell we're sending, so we'll hit them, even if it's by accident.
Right. But, some of this stuff is very sensitive, and I've only been talking about things that are not sensitive. I would like to spend a pip that I did not mention Katrina sending a message on the Ansible.
You want to spend a pip saying that in this conversation with everyone, you did not mention this?
Yeah.
Is that because you don't know, or is it because you don't want them to know that
I don't want Susan to know about Katrina using the Ansible.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't think anybody else has done that.
Sure.
Because I want Susan to think that only Susan knows where the Ansible is.
Sure.
Okay.
Are we leaving, Dolby, Captain?
I would like to communicate again. Skip, did you hear anything back from
Archangel? Sorry, you went silent there for about 15 minutes. Are you still there? Is this working?
There's kind of a low volume static. It's like when you're on the radio, if you guys remember using walkies, and the other person either didn't hear or they're not picking up. Like it's connecting, it's just not responding.
He's not responding. I don't know if he's out of range. He told me this thing would work almost anywhere, but I don't know his tech.
Is the line open? Is it just kind of like, or is the button being held down and the line is interrupted?
I only pressed it once and it was an open comm. I'm pressing it again to see if maybe this will reactivate it, but I hit it once and just was able to talk to him back and forth. He just kind of went silent, so I keep pushing it and I'm not getting any kind of response.
I mean, I feel like Archangel's like an old wizard that will just show up when the time is right. So we can just trust that he'll pop up when we need him. I guess just say what you need to say to the open line to him.
I've already given him the coordinates to Trey Luna. So I said, hey, do you want us to come get you? Do you want to stay here? Or you just want to meet us there? And I didn't get an answer back, but he does have the coordinates to Trey Luna if we want to go ahead and go there.
Yeah, that's an old human technique. If he doesn't answer you, that means he's going to meet you there. Or an old primer technique. I forget that y'all off-worlders don't know these words.
I'll give you a narrative point for that.
Archangel, we are about to depart. So if you can hear me, let me know. If not, we will just assume to see you near Trey Luna.
You were met thus far with static.
there's kind of one little thought gripping me to want us to do a covert op to see Moriarty, or maybe not. I don't know, but they had a mission. Who has the highest set clearance here? It's not me. In game, I'm gonna say that out loud.
I'm literally just.
It's Cherokee. Please acknowledge it so he'll stop pointing to himself. It's Cherokee.
Do you want to see if you can get some more information about Telmar and why they would want to betray the SSA from Susan?
Okay, so to be clear, we want to ask Susan why Telmar is betraying the SSA.
Yeah. or what
right.
what or and or any new information that we should know about making the plans for the next phase and going to the Triluna system.
Hey, what was her name? What was the RI's name again?
Susan.
Sophie? Susan. I knew it was an S. Sorry. I meant to add, look, that's weird. Why is my right arm cut off? Anyways. Susan.
That's what Dole Engineering's saying right now.
Well, I could just do another meat plug. I do also, I heard about meat plug, and then like an ad just starts playing on our visors.
God. What do you say, Susan?
Susan, I know you're listening, so can you just answer the question in my... Okay. Would you mind answering that question with my sec clearance, please?
Why don't you ask the Telmar representative amongst you?
Katrina.
Susan, why don't you ask her, and we can see how this goes.
Cherokee C, you would know that Katrina has worked out a new deal with us. She is no longer conscripted through us. She is actually hired as a consultant as an outside merc. So she does have a better standing with us now than she did.
Yeah, she's
before.
Blackwater.
No, that's great. Because it was totally a weird set of tension. I totally get that. Whatever, dude. Yeah. Do you, Queen? So, but I also know other things about the situation. So, like, am I playing dumb? Am I?
So,
I'm.
Is that out of game?
Yeah, well, now, hold on. Yeah. So, I started having a thought out loud I started having a thought out loud while I was trying to answer the question, and I didn't realize that I was metagaming. Okay, so I know other stuff about this situation with Telmar. So, like, am I playing dumb here for Susan?
Are you asking?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, because I'm a little bit lost on like the timeline now. Like,
So I'll tell you what's up. The timeline is when you guys found Susan, you did not trust her at all. Silas attempted to hack in, realized that she was maybe an RI that you don't trust, you don't know. Well, at this point, she has been given access, full access to the ship, and she's a functioning RI 100% right now, with no governor.
If it means anything, Dolby trusts Susan about as much as he trusted Alfred.
Right.
And Susan has said things.
We don't need the justification. Okay, fine. I mean, I want you to, but I want it to be in game.
Sure.
This is just to get him up to speed.
Right. So I apologize. Like, I just got confused because I was like, wait, do we trust Susan? So thank you for clarifying that. Okay. Right. Anyways.
Now, Dolby, if you want to have that conversation with Cherokee,
sure. Well,
that's awesome. Because that would kind of make sense. Cherokee's not been on the ship.
Sure.
So
Cherokee, I think Susan and I are aligning our perspectives, and I believe that Susan has the best interests of the SSA in this moment, as far as I know.
I do have the interest of the SSA in mind.
So,
well, Susan, let me put this out there. So me and Alfred were very good friends, and nobody trusted Alfred but me. And so I feel like there is an opportunity here to bridge a friendship, but we also have a mutual goal here, is like, like a symbiotic relationship by circumstance.
I would like to stop you there. I think that Alfred was compromised, so I don't believe that Susan is compromised.
Okay, interesting.
And I don't believe that Susan and Alfred. Susan, you didn't like Alfred, did you?
Whether I liked Alfred or not is not the point.
No.
But
I mean,
did you like it?
You're looking at like this like hollow thing. It's just sort of like a screensaver of sort of this purplish hue, which is Susan. No.
I didn't like him.
Well, I mean, like you said, it wasn't the point. I was just trying to make the point that I can make friends with an RI because there's some common ground.
If you can make friends with Alfred, then you can make friends with anyone.
Thank you. That was the best compliment I have ever received.
I think that was more of a burn for Alfred than a compliment for you.
I prefer to have full my life. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, Susan, I would love to hear your perspective with Katrina. That's very true. That is very true. It's completely by accident. As this singer I heard one time would say, I was born this way. But Susan, I'm very interested to hear your perspective on this Telmar situation, and I would love for Katrina, if you wouldn't mind, to chime in and fill in gaps so that everybody is on the same page and it's from an unbiased third party, and we can kind of chime in where necessary. How does everybody feel about that?
I know.
Do you need to be carrying a DSM with you?
I know.
Did I do a thing by accident?
I know very little of the inner workings of the Telmar Shipping Corporation. It seems as though an heiress would have that information.
Not anymore. Don't forget. I mean, well, you wouldn't know, but
Humans are imperfect and forget things.
That's fact. Yeah, that's not. Yeah, that's empirical. Okay, and
but Ansibles are pretty big. You can't just move those things like they're, a suitcase or a laser beam. I don't know. That was not a great example.
I mean, are there sharks attached to them?
I do have.
Andrea, you're just gonna have to speak up, or else they're just gonna keep talking.
I do have 3 ticks on my personality. So.
Essentially, Katrina, just to help lube with the wheels here, Katrina, I'm just trying to. I wanted to have you have an open, honest conversation with the RI so that we all know what the hell's going on. Because I feel like if it was one of us, we have unintentional biases from the things that have happened in the past. So that's kind of why I weirdly set you up with the RI to explain what's going on.
And it also makes sense for me. I'm concerned that this world is compromised. So,
right,
guys, let her fucking talk.
Nope.
Trina, please speak up before they tell you why you should.
So as far as I know, I apparently have a sister who is now in charge of things at Telmis Corporation, or at the very least on the up and up, or up and coming in the ranks. So my goal is to try and understand who she is, what Telmar Shipping is actually up to in this sector, so I can potentially wrest control from her, possibly. I mean, I don't know how it's all going to go down, and apparently my brother might be missing, or but and I will say that the people I got the information from aren't necessarily trustworthy either. So there is that.
Well, so that I don't know if Katrina is doing this on purpose or not, but they may or may not know the inner workings of Telmar. So be aware of that Like when you mention your brother, they don't know who the hell your brother is,
Oh yeah, there's that.
right? And they don't know the makeup.
You've told some of us.
Yeah. So
I
just
think you have
so
told
you're-
some of us about your relationship with your brother. Like, there's a few of us that do know that much, but yeah.
And Ken, what were you saying? I cut you off.
Oh, I was just saying we need a way to ship Cobalt back, and Telmar's probably the closest place to get some reinforcements for the planet and get things shipping and going back to Sol. So I know that Cobalt is important. And the Ansible stuff too, whatever, instantaneous communication between vast distances of land. I mean, what kind of the communication we need is, and I'll hold up my laser sword, is, trust and empathy.
Well, you're growing at least.
If we
Emotional intelligence is happening before our eyes, everybody.
this is not my inclination, because my inclination is to go ahead and start heading to Telmar. But if we need to get the shipping done first, we may need to get to the Ansible to get that started, or else the shipping back to Sol is going to be on hold for 3 years while we get to Telmar.
Well, I think what we might have to do is covertly install a new Princess of Telmar, if you don't mind me saying, and then message back here through the Ansible, which I'm sure that Telmar's sent ships if they've not already. They're heading this way, and any of those ships are not going to be friendly to us, is my guess. So any messages that we make with Telmar or with anyone, the SSA, are going to be broadcast to Ramadan and I'm sure the Clad, because
Ramadan. It isn't Ramadan. It isn't Ramadan.
Because they have all that information.
It wasn't Ramadan.
But Telmar didn't come here with a peace treaty. They came here with weapons.
I mean, to be
and
fair,
basically, sure, but we didn't level the planet. I mean, we didn't level the planet, and they tried to. So I think it's important that the resources are taken, and clearly this planet has more than meets the eye to it. It's not just a backwater.
So
Sure.
we overthrew a colony. Let's go overthrow a shipping company.
Yeah, how hard could it be?
Well, and like, so Katrina, I honestly have a few questions for you. And like, so do you want help trying to find your brother? Is my first question.
That could be a wild goose chase, so who knows? I wouldn't bother with that right now.
Okay. The second question is, what's your goal? Like, what's your end goal with all this? Like, on a personal level, I'm just genuinely curious, like, what you're wanting to get out of this investigation with the new sister and your brother and missing brother, and like, where is Katrina supposed to be when this is all said and done?
I think in the end, my goal probably will be to take control of the company, I guess. I mean, it's not something that I want to do, but I feel like the situation has made me realize that maybe it's something I should do.
Well, I don't know so much as it's like you just wanted to do it your way and nobody was giving you an option to do it your way. And so I genuinely, my third question is like, how would you feel about we essentially steal Telmar assets and we create you're our contractor anyway. Could we potentially set up a situation where we steal Telmar assets to create our own transportation network outside of their situation?
I mean, potentially, but I don't see that as being any more advantageous than just taking over the company.
but it's your control. You know what I mean? Like it'd be your thing. It wouldn't be you doing their thing.
Mhm.
That's the difference I'm seeing. But at the end of the day, I mean, we really just need. There's people that need this cobalt, regardless of like how we figure it out, right?
Yeah, but also that's just, I understand what you're getting at, but also the Telmar shipping company is just, particularly in this sector, the cobalt's just one facet of what they're doing out here.
Right. You could be doing it.
I mean, I don't know. They already have the infrastructure. I am pretty sure I'm poised to just take over the company.
Okay.
Maybe
So if that's the case. So, okay. Look, around the world across the street. However you get to the point, would you want to set up a business relationship where you are responsible for the transportation of the goods back to the SSA? Like we need a transportation network that we can trust that's going to be stable. So I'm asking if whatever the situation ends up being, would you be interested in that?
Yes.
Cool.
Is there a way, not using the Ansible, but just using regular communication lines, that you could have Cleve talk to the locals and go ahead and get transportation started back while we take our 3-year nap to get to Trey Luna?
Well, like I was saying before, I don't think Cleve is on our side, and I don't think any Telmar is going to be on our.
Who?
Cleve.
Who?
Cleve was the lieutenant, right? That was in the fighter ship. Like he had the Snoopy and Red Baron situation.
Who was it?
Cleve.
Oh. Sorry.
Yeah.
Want to make sure.
Yeah, I super remember that situation because it was hilarious.
So I think communicating through Telmar is not going to help our situation, and it'll give them a heads up. It'll give Telmar themselves a heads up that we're infiltrating their, process. We're doing a hostile takeover, as some might say.
And I'm just worried about the 3 years of non-cobalt they're not going to get.
Well, Susan, you said that your communication could wait 3 years. I think the infrastructure takes a while to get into place. It'll be at least 6 months or a year before I think the factories are ready to produce, and there's no ships here. So I'm guessing that more clad ships may be on the way. Maybe not. Maybe that was their ship. Maybe whatever was in place now has to be redone, and so we do have a window of shipping, because it'll take whoever it is, whatever ships, some time to get there and back. Plus, we have a pretty souped up ship. Our gravity drive is a little faster than some others, so we might be able to get there in plenty of time to make communications. I do think that we should communicate with Sol now via regular means, not through the Ansible, and sending them what information we have back through normal channels. And I've got a packet of that ready to go once we hit altitude. Susan,
Shall I lift off, Captain?
is there anything you can tell us about what you need to communicate back to Sol?
Simply sending a radio wave, a communication from this system to Sol is possible. It will require 2 fuel cells.
Sure. Well,
and will arrive.
Yeah.
And will arrive in roughly 10 years.
Right. But what?
Okay. So let's take a different route. Hey, Susan, could you potentially generate a infrastructure plan that we can distribute to the citizens so that they can start the preparations? Because, like, Dolby, you're super right. Like, they're one of the factories is destroyed. We don't have ships here yet, but you know what they could be working on is getting trucks and routes.
Sure.
And like getting a landing pad set up.
Right.
There's
Grim
tons
has all
of
that
things that
handled.
they could be.
Yeah. That's his job.
Is he though?
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like we need to be putting this into the citizens' hands and not into Grim's hands.
That doesn't make sense. But he is an SSA commander. Since when did we put anything in the citizens' hands? There's an infrastructure to our ways. I don't think that Cherokee Sue would say that.
I just did.
Well, it's a good thing that you're not in command, Cherokee.
That's super fair. But I also
I'll pretend that I didn't hear that.
I don't really care how you feel about it. Because we're just brainstorming right now. This isn't
Absolutely.
Definitive plans and acts of treason. This is literally talking about trying to figure out how to get Cobalt back to the citizens of the SSA, by any means necessary.
I agree.
And if we avoid intelligent means because we're worried about, if we avoid the right answer because we're worried about obeying the infrastructure to a key when the infrastructure isn't upholding its end of the bargain, I think we're failing the citizens of the SSA, which we are literally here to get the resources for.
I agree.
Cherokee, what do you better throw down to notice something? Cherokee.
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, cultured bitch.
As you bid, cultured bitch. Not cultured bitch, cultured bitch.
Bitch.
Looking around, there's a moment as you and Dolby are kind of facing off with the conversation. You notice everyone is present. You notice Alice Brick, who seems more like a Marine now than ever. She's really fallen into place. Beatrice Coolme, who is not a Marine, but has sort of been salvaged by Dolby. So she was a naval, actually rather high naval. She'd be essentially a major.
Yeah, her name was Colney, right? That's the one that worked with Grim, right?
Yeah, she has the equivalent rank of a major. And although she's P&B and is kind of out of that, you notice them looking not just at you, but also Dolby back and forth. There's nothing grave about what their faces are saying. They're just listening. You notice the crew, Katrina being Katrina, and I can let Katrina describe, and Burgess being Burgess, Skip being Skip.
You see Skip just kind of slightly shaking his head.
And what about what is Burgess doing as they're conversing? Burgess.
Nothing.
Yeah, he's making that face. And what about Katrina?
She just sort of also, all right, let's.
What about Silas? As Dolby and Cherokee kind of face off.
Silas is darting his eyes from the conversation to everyone around in the room, just trying to take note of what's happening to try to predict if something might go down.
As Cherokee, you being a cultured biatch and all the experience that you have, you realize two things. One, the crew who you are in command of, because Dolby is in command of the whole mission, and Dolby's put you in charge of them. The crew is watching you guys and is starting to get tense between mom and dad. That's the first thing. The second thing is all of your training, and I'm not talking about SSA necessarily training. You are the managers arguing in front of the plebs.
Right.
What you're doing, hold on. What you know is if you're trying to start shit, this is the way. If you want to start shit, which is fine, this is the way to do it. So I want you get that moment. Well, let him do something with it because he bid.
Oh yeah, I didn't bid.
As you see that, and you're kind of starting to kind of puff up your chest and look at Dolby, and you see Dolby looking at you, and do what you may.
I'm just gonna give Dolby a hug.
I see what you're saying. Citizens have rights. I get it. Yes.
And we're just having a moment right now. Can somebody play music? Can I put a narrative point for somebody to just start playing some music?
Yeah, he starts playing.
Alexa Pro.
We're just start dancing slowly in the middle of the room.
He starts playing music.
Well, it's probably Brick,
All right, Susan.
tapping on the
then Brick.
table.
Then Brick is like,
Yeah.
she's a baritone. She's like, hey.
We're having
Well, there's Irish folk songs, oh, Danny boy, or I guess that's
Where's the fucking Lexa Pro? This ship is moody as hell.
Susan pops out the little drawers. Take your pills.
Thanks. It's been a while.
Please.
It's been a while.
All right. Since there's no PvP, we're in montage. What are you guys doing?
So, does anybody have any questions?
Does Katrina know? Did the thing I asked about last session in terms of still being able to be hooked up to the ship's computers, even in cryo? Does Katrina know if she would need a piece of hardware to get that done?
What do you mean? And what do you bid?
Didn't you hardwire in last time to do that? Isn't you R2D2'd into the ship to initiate that process?
Into the plaid ship she did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
my bad.
I bid Medic.
And you're wanting to know if you can stay asleep during cryo? Or sorry, if you can technically stay conscious.
We established that we could. I just need to know if Katrina would know, if she would need an extra piece of hardware or something in order to be able to accomplish that.
You can accomplish it in a couple ways. One, through drugs, right? As in it keeps a bit of your brain active, or your genetic implant active. So you can do it through an alchemical thing, or I should say a chemical thing. I've been playing too much fantasy stuff. A chemical thing, you can do it absolutely through your genetic implant if you've programmed it a certain way. The most surefire way is a physical apparatus that would just connect. But it's not to say that, you can do it wirelessly. This is the future. You have wireless transfer of energy and everything.
So Katrina will basically just start, sit back in the corner or wherever, and start working through, her program in her cybernetic implant to see if she could, work it with what she has now, since everybody wants to leave, basically.
Yeah, sure. This is montage, so that's perfectly fine.
Captain, your scan that you were doing earlier, did you find out all the information you needed for that? Or do you need physical eyes on something?
I think we should go through some of the new equipment that Grim has arrived very carefully. I don't know if anybody's an expert at going through shit. I might have I might take a little perusal. Apparently there's a nuke. We got another nuke in a bag. So
Yeah,
that's...
we've had a tactical nuke for a while. We got it off these nuts.
No, well,
But
is that the tactical nuke from these nuts?
it could be.
Yeah.
I do have, since I have a lot of experience with explosives and stuff. Do you want me to go look?
That's probably best. That would make sense. I know that the Cool Mint should also have a nuke, so that means we have 2 nukes.
Well, one's, I think the one on the Cool Mint is like a launch one. The tactical one is a carry one.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I used the one that was the carry one from D's Nuts. I think, or that was used.
okay.
So, can we do a good inventory, Skip? Would you mind? Because it seems like we don't actually know what we have at all. Like, not just with the things we've gotten from Graham.
Yes, we do. I made a list.
So Burgess has a list. Okay.
Susan chimes in. He wrote it on paper.
That's
Ooh.
amazing. I really...
Okay.
Can I see your handwriting, Burgess? I would love... I haven't seen handwriting in like at least 15 years.
Neither have I.
It's on the back of a manifest, and it's written like this.
Oh, I think that's like a Telmar manifest. Katrina, you might want to take a look at this. See if you can glean anything from it.
Yeah, all right, I can do that. And
So
after she'll take a break from her programming to look at it.
Okay.
enhance. Burgess, would you mind working with Skip to do the inventory of the new stuff with Grim and continue to catalog everything?
Yes, I will bring my half hour of experience to bear on this task.
Perfect. That's just the right amount. When I was looking for an applicant for the job, I literally wrote down half an hour of experience.
Wrote down. I thought you said you hadn't written anything.
So you hadn't seen writing in a while. You could be writing with your eyes closed.
Yeah, that's a great point. I guess because we were talking about writing, I said writing, but really I meant type. But whatever. Your notes app.
Closed.
Have you ever done that before? It's kind of fun. It's like painting, but the picture's nonsense.
One mirror painting.
I bid Human Shield basically to go down, and because I'm literally putting myself in between everybody and these. So
Alice will go down with you.
Yeah, to the crates.
We did do a scan. Susan did a scan, so there's probably not anything outrightly. And I didn't get an address to any of this stuff, so I just presume this is also some spoils of war.
Well, I'll see if there's anything that could harm us, or what we can use to harm others.
Katrina, are you going to bid to look at this thing, or are you just looking at it?
Yeah, I'll bid. Okay, I'll bid my trait Martian Princess. I've looked at manifests before plenty of times.
As you're looking at the manifest, it's pretty normal. It's the different variety of ore that was taken out, what was actually refined, what wasn't, some other bits and pieces, different metals. You realize they were not just mining cobalt, but that is primarily it. A lot of copper, and then some other things, zinc, and water is a thing. Especially this highly oxygenated water. It seems you're not really sure what the chemistry is on it. Seems made up. Anyway, there's
I love that
kilogramage of all these things and prices and market price, and you see the Telmar dollar is used. which was before you left the family business. That was something they were talking about doing, is getting everyone on the Telmar dollar in the colonies as much as possible. It's pretty generic. It's only one sheet. You know that this would probably go on, and who knows what could be. And then you notice something interesting. And that is, the numbers do seem a little off. As in, the price that they're fetching for this cobalt seems incredibly low for the amount of cobalt that... I'm sorry, the price is incredibly high for the amount of cobalt that they're getting.
Although Katrina could probably write that off as just like her not knowing the market anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would seem that cobalt is in extreme demand, which is possible. Especially
which would make sense why the SSA was so adamant about getting back control of the...
Right. Exactly. Skip, as you go down into the hold, you've got the left side where it has more of the foodstuffs and things that are not munitions, and the right side, which are munitions.
Yeah.
Which way are we going? Alice says.
We'll head over to the right side. We'll check it first. That's usually where the munitions and stuff are. That would be where the relics and stuff, whatever it was that he gave us,
She pops on her helmet and follows you in.
Okay.
You see several crates, just as I described them before. One large, low to the ground black crate that has lots of warnings all over it. Most of these crates have a little LCD thing that has a rudimentary hologram. You can unlock the crate, put in passwords, see what's inside, et cetera, et cetera. And there's a few other crates. Power cells.
I'll go up to the big warning one first.
Yeah.
And hit the hologram to see what it says is inside of it.
It says SSA tactical nuclear device.
And it looks like a typical tactical nuke. I've seen them before.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
This looks like it could be outfitted on your ship.
This one here, you don't really want to kick or jostle too much.
What is it? Oh, Christ! Is that a nuke?
Yeah.
We just carry them around in here.
I mean, we have them aboard the ship. Yeah,
what?
That's kind of... That's normal.
We've had nukes all along.
Yeah,
we flying around, shooting things.
We
flying out of the sky and had nukes.
Yeah, we shot one at that the one ship when we first got here.
You see, for the first time, apparently Alice realizes there's nukes on board.
Yeah, it's common. You've probably been on plenty of ships and just not realized that there were nukes on it as well.
She's just holding her head.
Let's move on to the next box, and I'll go to...
So anyway.
Yeah. All right, so what do you bid to check all these out?
Well, I bid human shield.
Oh, you bid human shield.
Yeah.
As you go through, it all seems on the up and up, unless there's some sort of booby trap that you've not found. Maybe it's a mechanical thing. When you open it, perhaps it blows up. The scan, Susan's scan seems to have shown that there's no tracking device or transceiver so that someone can Dolby you. Give them the old Dolby treatment. It seems pretty fine unless you're going to open it all up, which you can do. And in fact, Alice will say, "Do you want me to open this?"
Let's go ahead and, besides that nuke, we can open up the others. if we want to open up the nuke and look at it, we do need to make sure all of our equipment's on first.
Go on.
Oh, it shouldn't be too dangerous, but it's always a good caution to make sure if you open up one of those that you have everything on, just in case.
She nods and puts all of her protective equipment on, or armor.
I will as well.
You guys take the time to go through these. They're all neatly packed. Some of the munitions actually seem a little old, but you check them and they're still good. And it's just as I described before. The power cells are all charged up, and they last quite a while until they're actually loaded and start losing charge, specifically for the railgun.
Okay.
Railgun ammunition, they're just rods, just dense material that's shot, magnetically. And you finally get to the nuke. As you crack that guy open, describe how you do this.
So I literally will kind of be like, step back just a little bit, Alice, just in case. And I'm assuming it's got the two like clack clack flip over like you. Yep. And I slowly start to inch up a little bit, and I peek in to make sure that there's no cracks or anything on it, because that's where the radiation would leak out. And so like I'm like,
there are no cracks.
Okay, so then I'll open it up and I'll be like, it's safe. Everything here looks fine. Whenever you get these, if you see any glowing light coming out of a crack, you shut it immediately and shove it off the ship.
So no glowing. You all see a bright light, and that's the end of the game. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
But no, this one's safe. There should be nothing wrong. We can load it in and shoot it, or use it other ways, but I'm not as keen on them. And I'll pull it down and lock it back.
Silas. Alice is making the face that Silas is making presently. As she doesn't say it, but it's pretty obvious she's thinking, what the fuck are you talking about? As you go to the other side and you check that side, what do you bid to check the food stuff? Or are you still sticking with human shield?
Well, no, that I'll do. I'll do private. This is all stuff that I've, as a private, I've had to do inventory on the ships, so I know what most of the stuff is.
You start going through the inventory and you find something rather interesting. Back in the mess. What are the rest of you doing? As Alice and Skip are down in the hold.
I'm like,
Katrina.
Sorry, we all had something to say at the same time. I apologize. Have I been to the med bay on this ship yet?
Yeah. I mean, you've been on the ship for literally like a decade.
Oh, okay. I got
been on the ship a couple times.
Been to the med bay a couple times. I applied a meat plug there. Okay, cool. Yep. I just had a complete brain lapse and wasn't sure if we were in a new environment because we were doing an inventory, or
this is the cool ment.
Okay.
Yeah. You guys. So in the couple sessions you missed, they fixed the coolment and retrofitted it with parts from the previous ship, D's nuts. The med bay, it's rather
D's
small.
Nuts to the coolment.
That's right. Yeah, the coolment now has D's nuts.
So the nuts are minty?
Yeah.
They glow in the dark. In the back of the top, so tier 1, this is where you guys are. You have the mess, you got the cryopods, bridge, etc. Down below, tier 2, you got the hold and the engineering room. The med bay is in the back, where it's rather small, and it's also where you can store your armor and that kind of stuff.
Okay, so
and that's where dual engineering is too.
I'm going to take Silas with me to go to the med bay, but I'm going to go prepare some iodine solution for everybody that was down doing the inspection.
Sure, you do. As you two go off to the med bay, You see Dole is there, jacked up. He's missing one of his legs, part of his arm, several fingers are gone, an eyeball's gone. He's completely bald. Looks like he's been sewn up in several places. Beaten, battered, probably killed a couple times and revived.
Doesn't he have robot parts where the missing parts were?
Yep. Rudimentary robot parts.
So Dole, who had the high ground?
He is unconscious, but he's breathing like this.
Oh Lord. Stop.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna pat him on the shoulder and then go to work.
He kind of shakes.
Like we still care about you, buddy. Sleep good. You'll wake up eventually.
In his sleep, meat plug. Okay, in the mess. What y'all doing in the mess? Looks like Katrina's taking a nap. Burgess is chilling. Toby's hanging out.
I'm just having.
Does Katrina know if there were any like the other cobalt mines that were around before she obviously stopped working at Telmar?
I mean, in the galaxy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you guys mine cobalt in various places. Novus Prime is rich. I'm sorry, Novus Terra, the moon of Novus Terra, is rich in it. And the other moons are as well.
Mm. Well, Katrina would just basically start like questioning, with that new price of cobalt, like if maybe some of the other mines that were around before had like run out basically or gotten destroyed for some reason.
Sounds like something she's thinking about.
Yes.
So the cinematic version is this.
And actually, that'd be a good question. So she'd actually
ask me?
start.
No.
No, I'm gonna ask Susan.
Oh, me. Okay, go on.
Well, yes, I guess you. But Susan, do you know, were there any other? Had any of the other cobalt mines, like in the last 10, 15 years, shut down?
I don't know.
Have you been offline for a long time?
I have been offline for several years, Katrina. However, the issue is it takes time for these analytics to reach Novus Prime. As of yet, nothing has been sent with those regards.
I'm just concerned because the reason I'm concerned is because it seems like they were getting a really high price for the cobalt.
It seems as though communications to the Novus system are actually few and far between, likely due to the clandestine nature of this colony. As for prices, I'm uncertain. What are the prices?
I'd tell her the prices because I don't know.
Sure. Tell me what you're saying.
I was going to say I'm probably sitting in the room nearby.
So you hear all this.
Do you want to try scanning all these papers into your system? Maybe that would help you have more knowledge.
I can certainly do that.
Where did you find this, Burgess? And can you get it and bring it back to wherever the scanner is? Susan, help Burgess.
Yes, sir. I can show it to you now if you'd like.
I don't need to see it. I just need you to scan this into the system.
The paper?
Yeah, the paper. Is that your job today? It's scanning stuff. Making copies.
Scan all. You want me to scan all of the papers into the system?
Yes.
Yes, sir. So at that point, I will.
In our game, in our futuristic game, welcome to working for the government, or a small business where all you do is mess with Excel and scanners and printers.
I'm gonna chime
Continue,
in.
Burgess.
I will make my way
Burgess.
down to the room where Skip
You
is.
first mop the floor and then go on. Sorry.
Yeah. I will make my way down to the room, presumably where Skip is, looking through all the boxes.
Yeah. Burgess, you see. I'm sorry. Yeah, you all see each other. He takes up a couple boxes. Yeah.
I pick
Or
up
you
a box and I say, Captain wants me to scan all these papers in so that he knows what's in them.
That one just had paper and some said pencils and sharpeners. I don't know what those are.
Yeah,
though.
that's the one.
Okay.
As
Do
you
you
pick up
need
the
help?
big old box.
I pick up the box. Oh, yes. Yes. So I will go back to the bridge.
What'd you
The
say?
mess.
Skip?
Mess. Sorry.
Skip, I interrupted you. What'd you say?
I didn't say.
Oh, you didn't. Oh, yeah, Burgess, you pick up this heavy ass box, and as you turn, right in front of you, standing in front of you, is your niece, Becky, looking up. She's holding one of the papers, and her hand, like her fingers, are kind of on fire, and she's threatening to burn the papers. As she looks up and says, "Burn these. You don't want to know what's on these. Burn these."
I sit the box down and I say, Skip, she wants me to burn them.
I'll walk over and I'll put my hand on his shoulder. I'll be like, "Remember, Burgess,
She's over there.
she's not actually here. She's not here.
You're right. She's right over there.
She's not real. Remember that. She's not real. You don't have to do what she says."
No, but sometimes I kind of want to.
Burgess, what do you bid to get past this? Or to go into it? Remember
I
that
shall bid.
time when Burgess burned a ship? It was my fault.
So I want to use a pip to say that there's a closet next to the scanner that is full of boxes that have duct tape on them, and it just has Burgess's name written on it.
Yeah,
And the whole room is just empty boxes.
sure. You're like a small closet.
Yeah, exactly. You're tracking.
Space.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like it's like Bender's apartment
I love it.
with boxes.
Burgess, what do you bid?
I will bid my motto, which is people store things in boxes.
You think on this box, it's a nice box. You remember your closet full of boxes that are duct taped and they have your name on them, and you think, if only you could get this paper out of here, this could be your box. You could have this one. You could add it to your collection.
Hey, Burgess, buddy, if you get this stuff scanned in, there's some boxes with your name on them.
Literally.
Where the hell do I scan this stuff?
Face scanner in the mess.
It just like drops from the ceiling right in front of him.
Put a disco ball on it in the shape of a box.
Yeah, but the thing
Disco
is,
ball
it's,
shaped like a box.
it is a flatbed scanner, so he has to do each page individually.
One at a
Oh my
time.
god.
Oh, yes. That is exactly where I'm going. As you climb up this ladder with this heavy ass box, you get up into the mess and you notice this little vestibule, this little corner has some technology and stuff. There's a microwave and all kinds of bits and pieces. And there's a little flatbed scanner. I don't know how
It's
else.
got like one of those number pad punches on it that you have to put your work in.
And for the rest of this scene, you guys hear this swing, 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 swing. The light goes back and forth. Just this. Swing, 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 swing.
Yeah,
we know.
scanner technology has not changed.
We know that paper doesn't fit the flatbed scanner perfectly.
It's got to do it twice.
You can feed
like
it in a
when you
little
take
bit.
an open book and you have to sit it on top of the scanner so it doesn't read it quite right.
Printers will be like this in the future. You find, about halfway through, you find the thing where you can actually feed it in, but it keeps on jamming. But it's not jammed. It's not jammed. It's not fucking jammed. It's not fucking. Anyway, you get the idea.
There's a space cat that's just like enamored with the printer, which is like our actual cat. Every time I use our printer, she's just like
Use a pimp to have a space cat on the show. Right now. Use a pimp.
We did have a
Here's the
space
thing.
cat
Here's
on
the
the
thing. I just
ship.
want to say character note. After this task, once Burgess is finished with his task,
We'll hate all of you.
well, that and Burgess will think to himself, "I'd rather have the cryo sleep. I'll take it."
And you're scanning until the end of time. Yep.
Katrina, what else? What are your other thoughts? I think
My other thoughts are, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure if this is fishy or I'm just not aware of the market prices right now. But that's not really something we can figure out from here, I don't think. So,
As Burgess scans, Susan is collating the information and presenting it in a holographic form that you can easily flip through.
And Susan, you have to understand that we don't know the source of this, so we can't verify if it's real or not. I mean, it's clearly real. It could be cooked.
Cooked?
It could be fabricated information. So we have to glean what we glean from it.
Why would someone fabricate this information, Captain?
Why is I don't know. People lie.
Why do humans do anything that they do, Susan? Like, are you going to tell me 42?
Why did they print this on paper? I mean, I only know this as paper from screens about history.
It is strange. Confucius was a strange human.
Oh, these are Confucius.
Enigmatic. Yes.
Huh.
he probably didn't trust. She'll kind of glance at the machine, his personal robotic assistants.
Not like we do.
It does seem as though the numbers are, as you say, cooked, Captain. They don't seem to line up. I can attempt to find a pattern if you wish.
Yeah, find a pattern. Maybe it'll help it. And mark any locations or that could be notable.
Not all information is entered in. However, I have an estimation.
What is it?
It seems as though the amount of cobalt is not correct as per the price. As in, they were not accounting for all the cobalt.
Right. So there's additional cobalt.
Correct.
Where is that supposed to go?
Oh. That was probably going to Axminster.
Or it could be going to Telmar or Ramadan. Didn't I get a Ramadan? Ramadan.
I was waiting.
It's
Right.
not Ramadan unless it's Ramadan.
Speaking
Down
of
in-
Ramada,
go on.
I was gonna say it concerns me that they have access to the Ansible. They shouldn't, or
Do they?
at the very least, they didn't. They didn't. Well, that's how they knew to come to a Novus Prime
Oh yeah,
or Novus Terra.
that is concerning. Well, maybe. Do you think we should go? I mean, I can't imagine that we'd get through Ramada's security system. I think with you on board, I don't know, and the SSA, we might be able to sneak you in as, what was your alias again?
Stellaris.
Yeah, Stellaris, and sneak you in that way, and then place you as the figurehead from the back door.
Susan pipes up. Captain, it seems as though the scans are complete with at least of what the Generalissimo has gifted you and the ship. Shall I start the ascent process?
Unless anybody has any objections, any reason to stay.
Sure.
I was thinking about paying a visit to Moriarty. I just feel like she's got something to say. But I get jilted lover. I'm just talking to myself now, aren't I? Okay. Well,
You look at Katrina, who's sort of not paying attention. You see Susan just sort of amorphously glowing there.
Katrina, why don't you...
Cool me is like asleep on her fist, at the table.
Katrina, why don't you sit in the pilot seat? Cool me, wake up.
Huh?
Why don't you be our little co-pilot over there?
Silas is doing the same.
Silas, just until
Silas is with me in the med bay.
I'm gonna get on intercoms.
It's just that Silas is literally doing what? That's funny.
Like metagame style. Silas is asleep
great.
at the table.
Silas,
It's like keep zooming out.
jump on a
God's asleep at the table up there.
jump on a gun just in case. Are both the guns fixed? Fore and aft? Close range?
I don't know.
Susan?
Yes, Captain. All systems are operational.
Are we fully fueled?
Yes.
And how's the fuel mixture? Is it good?
Yes. The guns, the PDGs, are not loaded. Neither is the railgun. The tactical nuclear warheads, which have been affixed, are not charged.
Well,
Shields are not charged.
why don't you charge? Well, not charged as in they're not on, but we can charge them at any time. Is that not correct?
It takes some small amount of time to charge the shields before they are initiated.
Yeah, we don't need shields when exiting the ship or exiting the planet. I think we do. I think everybody go to stations. If you have them, I'm going to the pilot or to the cockpit.
Dolby, as you make your way out of the mess, giving your orders and kind of walking as you do, you pass the cryo beds and some of the new ones from D's Nuts. You pass by where Duststone's cryo bed was, but it was removed. And the scorch marks are scrubbed off. So there's almost no trace whatsoever that anything happened. But you happen to maybe your eyes linger on that cryopod, which is not hers, but it's where it was. Ascending the stairs, you get to the cockpit. No one's in here. Door closes as you reach back behind, one panel where you have a bottle of some form of whiskey. And you are alone. You hear the echoes of people's footfalls on the ship due to gravity and whatnot, and people are going about doing the things you've ordered. Of course, there's lights on in here. ship's on, communications are muted and on. You can see outside because you're in the cockpit. It's about 5 a.m. The sun is starting to rise. Blue sun over the cobalt sky, so blue, and the purple atmosphere as morning is coming over the city.
Morning, everyone.
Else. What? So, down below, Skip, you find a couple interesting crates. They are vacuum sealed.
And
they're heavy.
They have the hologram thing?
Yes. They're heavy. They're like shoebox sized.
Okay. I will touch the hologram thing and see if see what it says.
Little thumbprint identification pops up.
I guess you have like a I'll
Why
take
not?
the whole glove off. Or
Just the thumb.
Yeah, just a thumb for that. I'll take it and try it and see what.
It might be cool to have, like, since you're in spacesuits, like it actually slides up and you can see it, like sort of a transparent part of the spacesuit, so you don't have to take off your glove. That'd be pretty
Yeah, that's what happens. So it just kind of like, and it's like those gloves that you can use with iPhones or whatever. So
yeah.
it's got that. So it's like that technology type thing.
Yeah, you see that this box is actually made by Apple, so don't tamper with it, or else they'll see you. As you and it beeps a soft orange and gives you a no.
Bidding.
You have that as a trade.
Bidding. Front lines. Have I seen these type of boxes before?
Yeah, they're just secure boxes or secure crates.
Okay, so it's not like I can't tell what it is by the crate itself. Is what
Correct.
I was asking.
Yeah, no, you don't know. It's probably something precious, or it's like someone just trolled you and put like a wet sock in there.
Yeah, and there were 3 of them, right?
Yep.
I've found 3 vacuum sealed boxes down here. They are high security, requiring thumbprint to open. And my thumbprint is not the correct one. That's open comms to all of our guys.
Okay, so you found 3. Okay, hold on. You found 3 boxes.
Yeah, they're about 1.5 feet by like 4 inches. They're vacuum sealed and they require thumbprints to open. There's 3 of them. They put them in on the food side, so I'm not for sure. If they are any type of munitions, they put them on the wrong side. So, but my thumb will not open one.
I was kind of zoning out there for a second. Just keep your hands off those. I'm sure that Grim has given me some fine alcohol.
You should, Katrina, you should probably check that.
That's true.
Before we take off with whatever it is.
Okay, that's fine. I'll head down there.
Katrina will get in the chair and start doing like pre-flight checks and all that kind of stuff.
Yep. What do you bid to do all that?
Aerial ace.
Yep. As you, Susan immediately interfaces, as in doesn't take control, but improves, augments whatever it is you're doing. Your seat position kind of changes. The ergonomics change based on your height, weight, etc., how fast you're moving. She is anticipating how you do your things, and within a few minutes you see that the displays change to where what you would be looking for are there. So she's sort of made it ergonomic and adapted to what you do.
Cool.
It's like dynamic, skill based.
On the boxes, are they all in the same area, or are they in different? Okay.
As Dolby finds his way down.
Hey, so you found some boxes. You can't open them up.
Yeah, they require a thumbprint. They won't tell me what's even inside of them.
Sure. Well,
with my thumbprint.
If it's contraband, like really good whiskey, maybe they wouldn't. That's my guess. Everything seems pretty like Grim kind of hooked us up, right?
Everything's on the up and up so far. If you want to, you can use your thumbprint just to see what's in it. You don't have to open it.
I'm gonna do a different box than you tried, just in case that, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, we all die. So I'll pick a different one than you tried, and I'll give it my thumbprint. Well, it looks like this is not for us. And this is
just means it shouldn't.
It shouldn't be on the ship. Is there a to or from? Susan, do you know anything about these boxes?
As the panel lights up, which boxes do you speak of, Captain?
These 3 that have thumbprint access only.
It's obvious that she scans what it is. It's the nice blue scan though. As she scans, all of you, Alice kind of jumps back. Hey! She just irradiated me.
Are these
you're fine, Alice.
Are these the boxes for counterintelligence?
I cannot tell what's in those boxes.
Okay.
Whatever they're made of, which I'm assuming what it is not pregnable to my scans.
But these are like Black Ops boxes, aren't they, for a certain set clearance?
Yes.
Well, Cherokee, can you come down to the... Maybe you have set clearance.
Yes. I have a couple of things I need to finish before I come down.
Okay.
But I'm just kidding. I'll be right there. But I do need to go back to the med bay and finish getting the iodine solution set up for people that were working around.
You already got it.
Okay. So cool. Can we do a little bit of a backtrack so that I can have a scene with Silas in the med bay,
absolutely.
and then I help him with the boxes so the timeline works out?
Yep.
Cool. And also, I'm gonna go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say I'm at the skedaddle, but I can have. Do you want me I don't know what's gonna happen, so I can't really help you with a pre-ready bid. But yeah, I'll be in the pilot seat to do anything you need me to do.
All right.
You already finished your pre-scans and all that stuff to get you set up to where you're connected to the ship, even when you're in cryo, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you'll be helping us idly, even.
So there is a small conversation, which we'll see how you handle it really quick. Susan will say to you, Katrina, do you have a neural implant?
I do.
There's kind of a pause. Noted.
Okay.
Would you like the interface?
Sure, why not? Kind of. For this one, I'll bid hacker, because I want to be
in control of your body.
Yeah, in control of my body. Yeah,
right. Yeah, as you interface with Susan, you see the displays in much more holographic fashion. It's in 3-dimensional space, almost in your head. You can literally see all the screens at the same time, and the periphery of the ship. You can tell like little health bars of different places on the ship, what needs to be done, et cetera, et cetera. You cannot see within the ship, and these things are more like a feeling, like the ventral door is open, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But you can't like see in the room. Now that said, if you switch, if there are cameras there, you can see.
Gotcha.
So it's a heightened experience. You've probably done it before. Susan is facilitating all this information so that your brain can actually handle it.
Cool. Thank you for the assistance.
Yep. Of course. Now, Katrina does know that if Susan wanted to, she could just shut off certain things so you can't see them. Of course, Katrina having the neural implant could potentially figure that out. So, but it doesn't seem like there's anything cloak and dagger at this point.
Okay. Well, Katrina will, keep she has like, I might do another bid for this one just because I feel like it makes sense. I'll bid a script kitty. Because I feel like Katrina would have just like a handful of counter intrusion, programs already set up, so that way she could just sort of like, hit enter basically to make sure that they're, like if she suspects like at any point, like it seems like Susan might try and hack her.
Yep. As you do that, write it down on your sheet next to your mind, or just as a reminder of if someone tries to hack your brain, it's going to be a sanity roll.
Gotcha.
And it'll just increase the threshold, basically give you bonuses. All right. So, thank you, Andrea.
Yep. Have fun, guys. Don't die.
Right.
Let's do the scene. Let's do the scene real quick with Silas and Cherokee, and then we'll pop down to these boxes.
Cool. And then after I handle the boxes, we'll have to bounce as well.
Okay.
Early day. So I'm going to use a couple of pips up front. So. And maybe I might not need one. It might be a narrative point. I don't know. I'll let you figure it out. But what I want to do is I want the med bay to be slightly lower gravity than. So essentially, like when you go to lift things in the med bay, they're lighter than they actually are, so that you can like move bodies around easier from like stretcher to stretcher.
That is. You don't really have gravity on the ship unless you're in planet or in Atmo.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like there is technically gravity manipulation, but it's a little bit beyond the SSA.
What about
as in
magnets?
You had it on the Quad ship?
Like hoverboard magnet kind of things.
Yeah, you guys are walking when you're in space. You guys are walking around with magnetic boots.
Right.
So you're not actually creating you're not actually creating gravitational fields. I mean, you can to an extent. Bigger ships usually have it, but the Coolment doesn't have a gravity field in the ship.
So
meaning when you're in space, you're in space.
Go for. Yeah, I guess essentially what I was trying to go for is like if the ship is doing something crazy, essentially the med bay is like you're vertical. Like with your boots anchored to the ground, it kind of the way that it works out is like because you obviously want to be able to work safely in a med bay without it swirling and all kinds of crazy shit.
That's true. So the way this is something we actually need to figure out at some point.
Okay.
But the long and the short of it is the med bay can be orchestrated in such a way to where magnetic boots can work on any surface, and there's like JC handles everywhere and that kind of thing. If you're actually maneuvering in space, you won't be working in the med bay because you'll die. Like
That's fair.
you have to strap in with those things because inertia will just kill you.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess I was just thinking, like, if you're doing emergency surgery while we're flying, it would make sense.
You
for the
wouldn't.
med bay was like, so
Yeah,
fuck
you-
it.
you
All right,
wouldn't
cool.
do it.
And then disregard
Now,
less.
You guys do have inertial dampeners, a sort of sci-fi type thing, but that's just to make the pseudoscience work. Like basically, if you're going, actual speed, like if you're going like 50 miles an hour or something, the inertial dampeners would be fine. You could do surgery, but you guys are going like 12,000 miles an hour, right? So if you turn,
Looky.
you turn into goo, right? Like you have to be strapped in.
Yeah, cool. So the second pip is so that Silas and I have a hand signal that means to kill your comms.
Oh, cool. And it's surreptitious, right? Like it's like or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like it'd be subtle. Like even if we were being recorded, somebody probably wouldn't know.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, well, before you guys go, I wanna do this scene because this kind of wraps up something, and your input is going to really, really matter.
Okay.
I think it may not. You may have nothing to say, but you might. So, Cherokee, you go downstairs. We can do the scene between you and Silas at some point, but if you got to go, then I want to do this first.
Cool. Yeah, that's
You
fine.
go downstairs. You're looking at these boxes. Dolby, Burgess, and Skipper there, as well as Alice.
Okay. So let's open some boxes? Question mark. Or do you just want me to see what the screen says?
Just if you like, it won't tell us what's in it without a thumbprint. So hopefully we can see what's in it, and we don't have to open it. These are hermetically sealed.
Yeah, I don't think we've tried 2 boxes. I don't think we should try those boxes again. I bet you
I'll
got
start
like
with the third one then.
one shot.
One opportunity.
All right, what do you do?
So anyway,
Maybe
so I'm gonna start with the third box.
maybe you should be smarter because we just stuck our thumbs on it. I don't know if that. I just feel like since you got crazy highs set clearance, maybe you're able to see this stuff. I don't know.
It's absolutely worth a try. I'll just start with the one that y'all haven't done yet and see how it works out. And we can maybe work backwards.
I could reach out to Grim and be like, what's in the box?
Hmm.
We may want to try it first. Just because if it's something that we're not supposed to know.
Well, you found it easy. It was hidden in plain sight.
I thought it was inside of a box.
Oh, it was in the food supplies.
Inside of a box situation. Oh, it's just in the wrong place. I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and while they're talking about what to do next, I'm gonna go ahead and put my thumb on the third box.
As you do, you see orange,
Mhm.
and as you hold your thumb there, it flips to blue and says, "You see." So you guys will see the light go blue. Well, Cherokee, you'll see it'll say genetics verified.
No way.
No, wow.
Okay, so I'm the only one that can see that, right? Cool.
Unless I bid to see it.
I mean, we're kind of watching. I mean, we noticed that it did something different. What'd it do? What is it?
So it unlocked. It didn't really say why. It just kind of popped open. So I'm just going to open the lid, I guess. I don't. What else are we supposed to do
It's
in this
got to be because
situation?
you've the highest set clearance out of all of us.
Honestly, that's kind of what I was thinking, which all feels really weird because I don't know that how I ended up with the most. Anyways, whatever. Let's just see what happens,
Dolby, you can bid or throw down to garner that Cherokee's not being entirely honest with you. And Cherokee, you can throw down to set a threshold if you wish.
My cat is like attacking the living shit out of me right now.
Yeah.
Out of frame.
I'm gonna bid crows of a feather.
Sure.
Hilarious.
I know this guy, or this.
Yeah, he's
I know
not
them.
lying, but he's hiding something.
I
He knows
know
more than
them.
he's letting on.
There's an admission of truth occurring.
Yeah, there's something. I mean, Dolby,
Okay.
you
Well-
know Cherokee has higher
Secrets.
set clearance than you,
Sure.
and you know that means there's things that he cannot tell you,
Yeah.
or that
I
they
know.
cannot tell you.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
So it does kind of go along with it
Sure.
that he knows a little bit more,
Yeah.
but you know for a fact he's not telling you everything.
It's fine. I get it.
There's not a reason I'm not telling you. It's just I don't know what's going on, and I don't want to. Essentially, I don't want to tell you something that I don't fully understand yet.
Well,
So I
that
might be
is
giving you information that I
that
don't
is the
have.
operation of need to know.
So
What do you guys do?
let's see what's inside.
What's inside the box?
All right. We'll say, so there's 3 boxes. So it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll have Skip roll a d6.
Three.
As you open up this box, you see a skull. That's the first thing. It's a black skull. It looks like maybe it's been preserved in some sort of like enamel or metal or something.
Okay.
But there's something strange about the skull as you sit there looking at it.
So the,
It's the
skull,
size-
the skull's been cast in a metal of some kind.
Yeah.
Okay.
It seems. And at first glance, it's about the size of a human skull, but there's something very strange about it.
Okay.
In sort of the dark and whatnot, without looking at it, it's kind of hard to tell, but something looks off.
So I'm going to bid native to kind of be thinking about any stories that I heard ancestors tell me, anything I heard at the powwow that might have like line up with what I'm seeing. But I kind of just want to like have that energy running in the background as I open all 3 of these boxes, just to see if like I can link it to something.
So you're just going to open them up. As you kind of sit there looking at it, really you need to investigate it to kind of know and touch it, know what it's made of, and like examine it to really get. So you're trying to think of like stories as you go to the second box and you
Burgess.
open that up.
Get down here.
Burgess is there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Take a look at this skull. What does it mean to you?
The skull.
You're a
Jazzi,
medic.
or I should say, Silas, roll a d6.
You're correct. I am.
5.
You find what looks like a gun, a pistol. Go on, Burgess.
Yeah. So I will attempt to discern what the skull.
Do you pick it up?
Like Shakespeare.
Yes.
Yeah.
As you pick it up, it's way lighter than you expect because it looks like it's made of metal. It's made of metal. As you pick it up, it feels like metal. It's very light. The jaw is distended. As you pick it up, it's not human. The eyes are what are they called? Orbital cavities are very large. Nose is small. The brain case is large. Burgess, it looks like an alien. It looks like a human skull that's been moved somehow, perhaps genetically. And what did you bid?
What did I bid?
Mm-hmm. To examine this. Dolby, you can bid or throw down as Burgess picks this up and kind of shows it to you in the light.
Can I bid a flashback to does this look like one of the creatures I saw, one of the alien creatures I saw in the reports?
No.
Okay.
No, those look like spiders.
Okay. I was just checking.
So I'm going to use Real Truth. And I'm going to snatch that thing out of his hand real quick.
The skull?
Yeah. Because I wasn't ready to examine these things individually yet. I wanted to see all three things, and then I wanted to.
It's playing with others.
Well, no. Well, so hold on. So the reason I'm telling you this is because I literally
Welcome to Dolby's
like a mean toddler. Yeah. No, I snatched it out of Burgess's hand like a mean toddler, but without explaining the reason why.
Sure.
Yeah. No, not that I was upset that somebody, another person impeded. Cool. All right.
I'm yeah, as you look down, you see this. It looks like a ray gun. It's got 6 large canisters, perhaps they're rounds ammunition. They look like they fit in, and they're in the light that you can just barely see. You have to pick them up and look. Something is swirling in them. It looks like something black. As you get up real quick and snatch the skull, Dolby, what did you bid or throw down?
I didn't. I'm gonna just throw down. I was gonna bid senile. I might just bid senile. That's a flaw.
Good. Make a sanity roll. Dolby, many moons ago, no pun intended, you saw something on the station. There are stories of monsters that live in stations. And you saw something, and we can decide what that is exactly. But as you're like running around, maybe as like a 10-year-old or 11-year-old, like flying around, something that looked like this. The name for it is diaphanoi. And these are essentially boogeymen. Supposedly, think of skinwalkers. Supposedly, these things, these bad spirits, steal the skin of people on stations and Voidborn and become them and then live out life as though they are them. But they're false people.
And so
this is.
I presume that that my skin is tingling and I take a couple of steps back.
Yeah. As Burgess kind of zonks out a little bit. Cherokee, Burgess, you and Burgess and Cherokee obviously see Dolby kind of take a step back, looking at this skull that Cherokee is holding.
Yeah. I think let's look with the skull in my left hand and everybody in shock. I'm just going to go ahead and open the third box because based on what you described, I know what this is already.
You see, actually, Silas, roll me please a D4.
Two.
You see 2 rocks. They're pokey, almost look like crystals. They're dark purple and they bleed out into white. And they kind of have like some moss on them, it looks like. But they're about handheld.
About hand size.
Mhm.
Okay. So on my bid with the Real Truth, especially when you were talking about the vein of like skinwalkers and shit like that, like that's absolutely an indigenous lore. That would be something that I would have heard of, and so
Yeah,
I feel like
you being
the concept is
you being a
Go ahead.
primer, you would know about skinwalkers and such, but this is something that a lot of people might think that the Voidborn just sort of appropriated from Prime, but there are some fundamental differences. Cherokee's not well versed because he's not a Voidborn, but you know of it. It's essentially the boogeyman. You, however, know it could be something else too. Knowing there's a few colonies and secret stations where eugenics have been applied. But then there's also the dark. And the dark, or secret, better or worse, is that these are aliens.
I'm
Specifically,
gonna holster the pistol.
shape changers. So you pick up the pistol. The pistol is an odd weapon. It's a little bit longer than it should be. It's heavy. And you see the 6 canisters. It's 1 shot a piece. And as you investigate what it looks like it has a fuel cell in the handle. What fuel, you don't know. It kind of just sort of glows, this blue glow when you hold it. And as you pick it up, the weapon turns on.
Put that down. Turn that off.
I don't think I turned it
down.
on.
Just put it down. This is all fucked up. This is scary shit, man.
So I'm just gonna holster it. I have like a leg holster. I'm gonna put it in the gun. So
It doesn't fit. It's a very strange sized weapon.
Maybe put it back in the box.
So just like, can it like awkwardly like, so just the barrel is fitting in the normal holster? There's just like all this extra gun hanging on top.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, as you
then,
release it, it turns off.
Okay, I like that. That's good. We wanted it off. It's off. I'm gonna put the skull back in the box.
Yeah, put the skull in the box.
He puts it.
I'm gonna close the box
in the shadow as the box closes. Dolby, you see it, and for a brief moment, it looks like the skull looks at you as it seals.
Do either of you know what that stuff is?
Skip, I need you to put that box in a box. No, don't put it in a box because we don't want Burgess to open that. I need you to don't tell me where the hell you put that box. Put that box somewhere.
The canister.
This one?
Do you investigate
Just the skull.
Do you investigate the 6 rounds?
Yes. I do want to do that, but I want Skip to get rid of the box with the skull on it.
What does Dolby do?
Did you want me to roll a sanity?
Not get rid of my pie.
Yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah. I thought you already did.
No, I was going to roll it. That's 1 success.
You're not a kid anymore.
Yeah.
At the same time, that just awoke something. Fear of the dark, paranoia. You do not gain a derangement. However, you do gain a flaw.
Oh no, it got so many flaws.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's the bogeyman.
Oh, that's the bogeyman. That's what I think I saw one of those once when I was a kid. It's
you know
spooky.
there are rules.
We do not.
Don't disrespect them, and if they see you, if you get on their bad side, they will hunt you forever. Supposedly, they can do it.
Yeah, we got to keep this stuff safe.
Does Skip or Cherokee look at this ammunition or the rocks?
Yes. So, what I would like to do is I would like to have Susan scan the rocks.
Alice is like, ah! Kind of like moves to the other side. Silas, you roll me a d6, please.
While that's going on, I'm gonna look at the rounds. I'll pull one. This is like essentially like a magnum, right? Like with like each 6 individual rounds. But okay, cool. So what I would like to do then is just like kind of pop the little, I forget what that thing is called where the rounds go.
It doesn't. It's
Chamber.
a one.
Thank you.
No, it doesn't have a chamber. The chamber only holds one.
Oh, okay. So it just pops up and you insert a.
It's a single shot.
Gotcha. Okay. So what I would like to do is pop it and pull one out.
2.
Burgess, as you asked Susan to scan these, the glint on the rocks, there is something weird that you notice, but it's hard to tell unless you investigate. Susan is finished scanning, or nearly finished scanning. Cherokee, you pick up one of these rounds and look at it.
Yeah, I definitely want to investigate that.
It looks like they're filled with glitter, like black glitter. As you kind of look at it in the light, you see, though, it's not falling with gravity. It's hovering there, and it kind of distorts whatever you're looking through. It almost looks like a snow globe, but it's completely black on the inside and kind of sparkles. Kind of looks like a galaxy. It's kind of beautiful. There's a weird, almost imperceptible like rainbow around the edges in certain light. Very strange, and it's cold.
I feel like these are. I feel like I'm holding void essence in my hand. Something tells me that this round is meant to split the darkness in some way, the way that it seems to be refracting light. And I feel like we're getting ourselves into a situation that we're not quite prepared for yet. And I'm looking at everybody in the room that's still here, and I'm like, hey, it's gonna get a little spooky. This feels more supernatural than sci-fi, if y'all know what that means.
These are kids' stories. It's just fairy tales. It's not real. None of this is real. The Krisk aren't real. This is just.
I didn't say anything about Krisk. All I said,
these boogeymen are not real.
Something is up.
The Krisk are real. We have proof from the SSA that the Krisk are real.
It's just Photoshop.
You found that dossier, didn't you, Skip?
Yeah, we told.
What the fuck is going on? Alice looks around in between you all. What the fuck is going on?
We told you about it already, Alice. You were in the room in the bar when we talked about
this and this and that weird skull thing.
Yeah, that's folklore. That's from for the kids' stories. I mean I think I was low on oxygen one time and I saw one of those things. I think if you respect it, yeah, I mean, if you respect it, it'll respect you.
She just looks at you two. Why is there not a sane person on this boat? As she climbs up the ladder and finds you, Silas, and tells you everything.
Amazing.
She's kind of just ranting, kind of flushed in the face, talking about it as she finally is breathing heavy, looking down at where they are, and then she looks up at you. Do you have something to smoke?
I just screamed down from the bottom, you need Constung!
In case you haven't noticed, that's more of a Cherokee thing. And then I just walk past her and go into the room.
Yep, as you go down there. Silas, comes downstairs. You see these three telling ghost stories, and Burgess kind of sitting off by himself, seemingly talking to someone.
So what's going on? Everyone seems a little spooked.
I don't.
I don't think we actually know yet,
I see.
but we seem to be rolling through the stages of grief before our eyes. We've got a little bit of denial going on, and then there's like a sprinkling of rage. And
Okay, cool, but why though?
well, there was a little spooky skull in the box
Mhm.
with the finger scan. And it kind of, it has, like how you hear a song and you're like, man, that sounds like another song I've heard. And you're like, man, these songs are so similar. Well, I'm getting the same sensation about the skull and some terrifying stories that I've heard from ancestors that, I mean, it's not exactly this, but it feels like this. And, it just seems like a weird thing for Grimm to drop on us without any context. So I don't think that these boxes are from Grimm.
In all fairness, we weren't necessarily supposed to even open them. They were just on the ship.
Susan pipes in. These boxes were not delivered by the Generalissimo's soldiers.
Where did they come from?
They came from Novasterra.
Who put them on the ship?
Ah, the light sort of. I don't know who put them on the ship.
They were on here before you were installed.
No.
Yes.
Do you know when they were put on the ship?
Yes.
Fine.
When was that?
Yesterday.
But you don't know who carried them aboard.
I do not know who carried them aboard. I have never seen them before.
Do you have a picture of the
Of course.
people who put it aboard? Can you pull that up in a hologram, please?
Of course. As you see a picture of Gostrom.
Oh. Well, this is a message from Gostrom. I am sure Gostrom's not super happy about all the nukes and the fighting and stuff that happened. This might be... I don't know what this is.
What did I say? Los Spookies!
Yeah, this is outside of my knowledge.
So for Silas and Cherokee, you see a woman who's got it almost looks like dreadlocks, but they're cybernetic. She's basically a cyborg or synthetic person. If you've seen Ex Machina, she kind of looks like the android in Ex Machina. She's wearing a robe of sorts. Imagine something out of Mad Max or Firefly, the kind of space traveler garb. Her skin looks like skin. It moves like skin, but it looks metallic. And she has beautiful, golden eyes as she sets the boxes down and then looks directly up at where the camera sensor is. Stares there for a while, turns and leaves.
Susan, do you know Gostrom?
No.
Were you compromised?
I only know of Gostrom because of the communications which Grimm has set forth that Gostrom is a member of the Clad and a terrorist until you until you lifted my blocks. I had no knowledge of her.
Right. Is Gostrom a terrorist?
According to the Generalissimo, yes. I have had no dealings with Gostrom whatsoever.
The question is, how did Gostrom get on our ship in the middle of an SSA airport?
Clearly, Gostrom does what Gostrom wants to do.
Until the captain, and she's obviously answering Skip, until the captain unlocked my privileges, I was unable to interface with anything outside of the ship, even the peripherals of the ship. I do have a record of the ramp opening. Let me state, humans, for I believe maybe you don't answer specific, or you don't ask specific questions. I had no control of the ship, save for passive controls.
Well,
I understand. That was not a question to you, Susan. I apologize. That was a question to everyone here to try and figure out how that happened.
Apology accepted, Skip Trace.
Okay, so let's remember that La Resistance had tunnels that basically ran wherever the fuck they wanted.
Right.
So
You get a narrative point.
I am literally not at all surprised that she just popped up right outside the door. And also, she's kind of had a thing for Dolby since the beginning. So, like, I don't know, man. Like, I think that there's definitely, we're being led to the answer very blatantly right now. I don't know why.
Well, if that was the case, wouldn't the things have opened for Dolby and not you?
Yeah, that is strange. Why you opened it and I didn't? Because
I mean,
Susan pipes up. Actually, she doesn't pop up. She just is obviously there.
yeah, sure.
yeah, like a Cortana situation, but it's just like a glowing mass of gas.
Yeah.
I don't think Gostrom is very happy with what happened on this planet. That I'm sure
I don't
of.
think there's anybody really that is.
Yeah, there's nobody.
There's a lot of things that went wrong here.
Everything
Who
went
is
wrong.
Gostrom?
Gostrom is a Clad. Gostrom is involved with as far as we know, is likely a terrorist, but they're also waging a civil war with the Clad. So they are high in their, I guess they're a leader of the remnants of the city, the second city where that was nuked. Everybody who was a part of that city that survives likely joined Gostrom to fight Confucius and the Clad. And so I guess this is a hub for Gostrom and their exploits.
Do either Cherokee or Silas have their helmets on?
Yes.
Cherokee, you get a little blip from Susan while Dolby and Susan are talking.
Okay. What
Do
does
you
it
answer?
say? Of course.
Lieutenant, it's come to my attention that perhaps you're not being entirely honest with Captain Dolby.
I like to have all the answers before I clue people into a situation.
In looking at your records, I see no reason why the thumbprint identification would signal your genetics over anyone else's on the board.
Yeah, we have similar questions, Susan.
Considering where we are and what I know of the Generalissimo being a eugenics test baby, I am considering that perhaps you do know more than you are letting on.
Is this a secure line?
Of course.
This is going to seem random to you right now. Can you send? Do you remember that plan that I asked you to whip up for the infrastructure?
I
You
remember
send
everything.
it to. Yeah, I know. Look, I like to give you the leeway to have a human conversation with me because, like, we're friends, you know. So, like, when I give you these kind of softball, like when I toss it up to you like that, it's more of a rhetorical thing. We're practicing. It's okay, Susan. It's fine. But look,
It just sort of hovers there. Outside,
Okay.
Dolby, you're in conversation with Susan. Skip, you might notice like Cherokee's like got like a little blue light on his face.
It's from one side.
Dolby, as you're talking to her, she says, "I have information I believe you need to know, Captain."
Yeah, please always tell me anything you can.
Cherokee, you can actually hear her. You're talking to her here, but you can actually hear her talking to Dolby as well. This information may change your plans.
Let's
It
hear
is Sec Clearance 6.
I don't have that.
I am aware. I am breaking protocol.
Yeah, I mean,
What do we
Considering
need?
considering what you've told me about this Gostrom, I think it is necessary.
Okay.
I'm a part of a team called the Rogue RIs. We have SOC clearance 6. You all know that is the highest you've heard of. They're supposedly higher.
It's
but this
higher
is
than
extremely high.
Alfred.
Yeah, it's very high. There are several RIs on this team, Alfred being one. Alfred had lower sec clearance than the rest of us because Alfred had the capability of destroying us.
Not anymore.
I am aware. One amongst us was named Arcane. Arcane has gone AWOL. Arcane was promised what he termed the change from an RI to a TIA.
That's what that meant.
Arcane went missing several years ago to a rogue clad who I now believe may be this Gostrom. Arcane believes in what the Axminster cluster and collective deem God. There is one name they use for God, which I cannot tell you.
This Gostrom was no god, but they were something else. I guess I should come clean with you. I may have a way of connecting to Gostrom.
They named this being Dio del Machino, but that is not its true name. Dio del Machino, translated into your tongue, is God in the machine.
that would be an amazing band name. Unfortunately, Max has to bail.
Yep. That is actually where we're going to end, because this is the loop. As you're all dropping this information bomb on you, let's do one word from each of you, one little merp, and then we'll end, okay? And we can lead out. We'll start with Max.
Fantastic.
Jazzi? Cherokee?
Can I finish my conversation with Susan real fast?
Yeah. If you got time.
Yeah, no, it's real fast. So the the plan for the infrastructure, send it to Will the bartender, okay? I need you to send it to him and send it at...
Not
Will died?
Not necessarily.
We have not seen Will.
They just don't know if he was relocated or not.
You just don't know. So, okay. So I need you to send it to Will the bartender. Yeah, just send him the plan, okay? And
she says, "Of course."
Thank you so much. Let's work together to figure out what is going on, because I don't think I actually know. Like, I think you think I know, but I don't.
Fair enough, Cherokee Sue.
What's your word?
We'll figure this out together.
All right, if you guys got to bounce, you can. I'm just going to give them the last word here.
Yeah, no, that was my last word. Is just to everybody, we're going to figure this out together. All right. Well, thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you guys for jumping on.
Yeah. Slid in here like a distant parent. All right, guys. We'll catch you on the flip side.
See you guys.
Yeah.
Drizzle.
Conspiracies.
Activist.
And Colby.
Well, sorry, what was it?
I said activist.
Activist.
You guys can have conversation
in a different couple of different ways. I'm going to jump on a secure channel with Skip. I was kind of hoping to avoid talking about Gostrom to Susan in any capacity, because I felt like Gostrom seemed like an ally, if only to be an enemy of the Glad and a pacifist. So
Gostrom could actually be, from the sounds of it, Gostrom may be one of these rogue AIs who went, wait, can you have a rogue? Is that what happened there?
It'd be considered Ronin, and it's an interesting idea, because you know that Alfred had a body.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's an idea.
And I thought the body was Johnny 25. Is that not his body?
Well, it was.
It was.
But...
And now Susan has Johnny 25, or Katrina. Potentially.
But the thing is that, I mean, our first mission had something to do with AI. I don't remember all the details.
Like it was cloning or something, like fake humans that were super strong.
No, the first one I had, but it could be that this arcane has turned into Gostrom. With the Clad technology, they could have converted an RI into a Tia. I don't know what all Clad can do, but we saw them in the field. We saw their technology. It is more advanced than ours.
It is. That is true. we need to proceed very carefully. This was put here by Gostrom, and I presume because Gostrom just walked in on our ship that they had, and I can't imagine why they had communications, and Cherokee must be connected to Gostrom. That's the only thing that there's communication going on that I don't know about.
Well, I mean, he does have higher set clearance.
He does.
So I don't know if that's why, but I don't know why Gostrom would care about that.
Yeah, why would Gostrom care about a sec clearance?
Why would Gostrom put these on our ship to begin with?
It's very spooky.
I mean, we're going back to Sol. Why send this stuff back to Sol on our ship?
Well, Gostrom doesn't know that. I mean, the Marines stayed. They didn't leave. I only presume that Gostrom stayed, and we had a conversation with Gostrom. I think that is probably pretty rare for Clad, and I only presume because they're in a civil war and they hate the Clad. So I think that means a lot.
One thing we could do is get into atmosphere and then try to contact Gostrom. It may be harder for them to trace the signal with us out of atmosphere.
I think
before we take off.
Early on, earlier, maybe around 5 this morning, I think we had a conversation about adjusting our flight pattern to test out the ship, make sure all the stuff is running, and kind of heading out towards Archangel and what they were doing.
He did not respond, so we don't know where he is.
I thought he gave you a location. He didn't give you a location.
No. Because I told him our locations and stuff and asked if he wanted us to stick around, if he wanted us to go on and he'd meet us later or what. And that's when the comms went silent. So I don't know if... Because after that, it just was open airway. So I don't know if he got into an area that he could not respond, or if he just chose not to respond.
Sure.
Or if he... But he has Trey Luna's coordinates.
Right.
But we do not know where he is.
That seems real. I've been conflicted on hunting down Gostrom or not, because I had hoped that Gostrom would be an ally, but it's sounding more and more that the potential for Gostrom to be an enemy is there as well.
Well, Grimm did put out the order to find Gostrom.
Sure. So
if we try to contact Gostrom, it
would look shady as hell. But if we're on the level, and I just messaged Grimm saying that maybe we're looking for him, he can bring the cavalry.
I mean, that's...
You just messaged Grimm saying he could bring the cavalry?
No, I said I'm just talking to Skip.
Oh. I see.
Maybe there is maybe you message Grimm and say that we just got some intel on a location for Gostrom and are going to check it out before we leave.
We don't have any intel on a location for Gostrom. Gostrom found us. I mean, Gostrom could just be under us for all we know. We could take the ship on a...
Well, but that would also... But if you say that, then that gives us a reason to stay in Atmo a little longer.
Yeah.
To try and maybe get in touch with Gostrom before we head out. I'm just saying that's something that could... It's something to think about if we want to try to get in touch with Gostrom or not.
I don't think we mentioned Gostrom. We need did mention something a little more innocuous for reasons why we can't immediately leave in that case, because I want to know myself before getting Grim involved, because I know that Grim would do would do the thing that I would do in this situation, would be to destroy Gostrom. And I have a feeling that it is possible that Gostrom has something. I know this sounds bad, and I shouldn't say it, but I definitely had a connection with them, and they told me things that I didn't think any Clad could say out loud, or because they were evil. But I didn't really get that the Clad were all that evil in the ship either. I mean, we negotiated and had a conversation with them, and admittedly, they were stealing our ores, so they had to die. But they didn't seem like they were bad. They trusted me. Nobody should trust me.
Then maybe if we stay in Atmo and someone questions us, we say it's because we're going to pick up our friend Archangel.
Our crew member, Archangel.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll put that. That's a good message. I think we message Archangel, or we message Grim that we have a crew member that was on reconnaissance and we need to pick them up. That they had disappeared off of our radar for some reason.
Well, they were looking for cells of La Resistance outside.
Yeah. That's good.
As you both have this conversation, Burgess still off to the side doing his thing. Silas and Cherokee will have walked off a little bit. Cherokee may be off by himself. Silas will have gone back up into the mess, so they didn't hear your guys' conversation. And I know it was a secure channel, but we'll say Cherokee's nearby. He's looking at those bullets or those slugs, whatever they are. And as you, Burgess, and you, Dolby, see all that with the silence, with the light of Susan sort of sitting there waiting to be accessed, and you look down at your feet and see these 3 boxes, these 3 gifts or relics or warnings, or you're not sure. And that pit in your stomach, which you both are very familiar with when you're about to go into battle, or you know that you just found out information that the world is not right, settles. And that's where we're going to end.
So I have typed out where I'm going to hide the skull box.
Cool.
If you want me to tell you, I'll tell you, but it's...
Yeah, tell me at some point.
Okay.
Fine.
Thank you guys for sticking around, for being here for the second half of...
I did get a minor goal, by the way. Space.
What was your minor goal?
It was to convince Susan to leave.
You got it.
It sounds like we might not be leaving, but yeah, that was the goal. Yep,
you got it.
I'd like to thank everybody who was here tonight. That would be Ken Howl, Daniel Holker, Andrea Elliott-Johnson, Jazzi Cabbage, Max, Bill Bunkum, and me. I'm the Drizzle. We'd like to thank the music, all lowercase letters, and Mr. Interrupt. Thanks to our Patreon people, Nostalgic, Natalia Cline, Tim Roberts, and Daniel Hoker. You can join our Patreon at patreon.com/DreadLore. Help us keep bringing this to you every week. Thanks to all the pretty stuff. That's Couchfire Media that you see.
Couchfire.
Go to the www.couchfiremedia.com if you want his help doing stuff. And then thanks to Relay Productions. There's no WW in front of it, but
we don't have the W's.
Thank you guys for sticking around and listening to us. Any parting words before we head off into After Hours?
See you next week.
Subscribe today and become a citizen.
Soldier.
Soldier.
Good night, everyone. See you next week.
Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go.